such a narrow bridge on compared to a lot of others. You may not be able to use a compensated one, which is a major issue.
This is really cool. It's like nerding out totally.
I get a lot of people come through nerd out. Ella Hooper, who often drives past every now and then, she was in here nerding out about a year ago on the way to a gig.
Nice. So tell us about your business and your courses.
So I run the course Wednesday to Saturday, but people do it one day a week.
Yep.
So we only use Australian timbers.
Yep.
Much like Cole Clark and Maiden. The difference is we don't use kiln dried timbers.
What kind of timber, sorry?
Kiln.
Yeah.
So they put the timbers in a kiln to speed up the drying process.
Yeah, sure. So
which is fine. Like for them, they're putting out so many per year that they have to
supply it from somewhere, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So I get my supply from instrument timber suppliers who will supply Cole Clark and Maiden, but I prefer to get their naturally dried stuff. So I try to find people who will naturally dry their timbers. You get such a tonal difference.
How long does it take to dry out the timber properly?
That's their job.
Yeah, did I?
Years, and I don't ask.
How do you cook the steak properly?
Oh, yeah. It takes them years, and that's which is fine. That's their bag, and I let them do that. Tend not to ask any questions, because at the end of the day, I need to trust them.
Yeah.
And my students need to trust them. The actual build is as close to a traditional build that you can kind of get away with in a modern setting, you know. So there's no CNC cutting, there's no kit work, there's no prefab anything. I supply the timber, and students will, like the bracing for example, they'll go through a bucket and they'll find it, cut it down, shape it up, sand it the whole bit, and so they get a real kind of experience. Oh, look at that! You got to be able to do that. Now we just got to check action.
So how long do your courses run for?
My last guy took 300 hours.
Yeah. It's a good way to put it. How many hours go into making it? Because you know you're not going to get to it all the time, and something like 300 hours if you're doing it one day a week, that's a substantial amount of time.
Look, on average, I reckon most students would push it out in about 150 to 200 hours. Because I don't do any of the work. But it means that, like I said, you know, a student wants to go away for the weekend. You know, the last thing I need is their partner getting shitty at me because they want to go. Try the right pin. They want to go away and they can't because, you know, their wife, girlfriend, partner, whatever is here building. So I've got, that's the other thing that's really weird. Most people think it's like a dude's glorified men's shed. Currently I've got a quarter of my books for women, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really good to see women starting to get into it a lot more. But yeah, so it takes about 150 to 200 hours to reasonably expect someone to complete it. And then you've got, you know, they snap something or they've got to start a whole new process again, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's about the extent of the course, I think.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and a lot of people, their course is $4,000.
Yeah.
So it's not an insubstantial.
No, I think that's brilliant because you get a guitar out of it at the end of the day, and you've got all those skills.
Yeah. And, well, I mean, and students design their own headstock, whereas I know the guy doing an epoxy resin rosette.
Yeah.
With like little cubes of timber. It's kind of extraordinary.
That's the thing I love about the Cole Clarks is the headstock. Like it's just,
I had a student try and emulate it and do his kind of vertical. Yeah, it didn't go well because like Cole Clark will use machines.
Yeah.
And I try and get my students to do as much as they can just by hand.
Yeah.
And to try and hand sculpt anything symmetrical is so. It's really hard for people who've been doing it for a while, let alone, you know, students